right, it is 9 a.m. We're in the last hour of the show. If you're just joining us, good morning. I hope that you are well. Now, the next 30 minutes of this conversation will be about kidney health. And I have an amazing person here in studio who will be sharing with us his story. In fact, let me introduce you to him via tweet. This is what he tweeted recently in order to help get attention and his condition. My name is John Githunguri, 32 years old, and I am looking for a job. I have a diploma in public relations and over 6 years in experience in public service. I am looking for a job to help me in buying my kidney post-transplant drugs. Any leads will be highly appreciated. Please retweet. When I saw that tweet personally, I think it was standing at about 300 retweets. And John Githunguri is here with us in studio, but also joining us to help us understand this is Dr. Silvana Murthy. He deals specifically with the issues of kidneys. It's so good to have both of you here on set.
Thank you.
John, let me begin with you. You made that tweet. What made you make that tweet?
Wow. It's been around 6 months. For the last 6 months, my job has not been doing very well. And
job as in business?
No. Where I'm employed there. And again, the salary does not help me buy the meds because the meds are very expensive. I'm sure Dr. will be able to explain it. So at some point, it reached to a point I could not buy the drugs anymore. So I thought by the end of the day, if things go wrong, I'll be in that dialysis bed alone, looking for another kidney. So I decided, let me just do it.
Okay, take us back. When did you have your first transplant?
It is the only one I had. I had it in October of 2016 here in Kenya through the NHIF. And again, friends. I never dialyzed for a long time, just for about 8 months. And when I discovered I had kidney disease, it was one of the worst news I ever got.
How did you discover?
We just started with some weakness, some symptoms that sometimes if you don't get the attention of a doctor, you wouldn't tell. I would get very tired. I would not walk from here to the stage. Yeah, I would take long, then muscle pulls, and a lot of weird things that used to happen, like food used to be rejected by the body. So that's when I went to Kenyatta, and I discovered that my kidneys had failed, because after the lab results, it showed everything had gone wrong. Yeah, I didn't expect it, because I thought it was just a sickness. So I realized I had the disease after 2 weeks of going to clinics in and out, being told it's typhoid, it's those infections, stomach infections, only to realize at the end of the day, I made it even worse by taking drugs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Self-medication, because you thought...
No, you just go into a clinic.
Yeah.
You just walk into a clinic, a doctor tells you, you have typhoid, you have malaria, you have amoeba. Yeah, so you get drugs and drugs and drugs without knowing, and you're not improving. Even to some extent, UTIs, because UTIs still at some point cause kidney infections. So yeah, that's how I discovered.
Wow. All right, Dr. Murthy, help us understand what causes kidney failure.
No, it is there are so many causes depending upon what kind of age group and what kind of setting from which the patient is coming. For example, like this young man, so there are every possibilities that their disease can sometimes be inherited through the family. There can be genetic diseases, there can be structural problems in the kidney, and there can as well be some kind of diseases that creep up even in children, so they tend to perpetuate into the adulthood. So it all depends. It's so many of these. It's not one entity. Like the commonest, simplest thing would be what we call as lifestyle diseases, like the high blood pressure and the diabetes, which are though not common at this age group of this young man, but after 35 and 40, the lifestyle diseases are catching up all over the world. And so when they tend to be neglected, like are not properly treated, like you don't have your blood pressure in the target range of 130 over 80 or 120 over 80, and your blood glucose within 7 or so. So they tend to damage not only your heart, your brain, we call them as heart attacks, we call them as paralysis, and then the kidney, we call them as kidney failure. So apart from lifestyle diseases, there are a host of diseases. As this young man was putting it up, whenever he visited the primary doctor, the diagnosis was always something else, but not the kidney. Like malaria was concerned, was considered, typhoid was considered, amoeba was considered, a urinary tract infection was considered. So you usually do not have a straightforward symptom for kidney failure. Something, unless something is like suddenly one morning you get up and don't pass urine, that you can say, simply think, yeah, we have a kidney. But that's not always the scenario. In 90% of cases, the symptoms are always indirect. It's indirect. The primary care doctor has to be very alert that this guy or this patient could be having a kidney disease, so that they can order a test like the creatinine. I think you must have got it done. So usually that when the test is delayed, getting an ultrasound of the abdomen to know the kidney sizes, and the urine examination, and then the serum creatinine, 3 most important things. And at least the first, not even the testing, the clinical sense as a doctor, not only for kidney, for any disease, so to say, clinical suspicion is the first and primary, simplest test. Nothing else, it costs nothing. Then comes your testing, the simple tests. Then comes referral to the appropriate specialist. Like for example, me, I'm a nephrologist. So a primary doctor thinking of a nephrologist should be the earliest, because patients cannot know to which doctor they go.
Exactly.
They should go. They don't know. They have a complaint. So it is up to the doctor, the primary care physician or the family physician or the general physician, to know that, yes, this guy could be having a problem. Otherwise, how does a patient with a complaint know which specialty he is going to land up with? He may be having a headache. It doesn't mean that he has a problem in the head. It can be very high blood pressure because of kidney disease.
So what makes primary doctors then,
proper awareness, proper training, particularly in the colleges where they are taught, or in the continuing medical education programs. So partly the responsibility also falls on the medical fraternity, particularly specialists like us. At least I can say 50%, if not everything, so that to make the general group of doctors, make them aware to the possibility of dangerous diseases masquerading as simple complaints.
Dr. Murthy, you handle this on a day-to-day basis here in Kenya.
Yes.
What could you share perhaps a few statistics or numbers of how common kidney failure here is?
No, yeah, see, I've been here, I think this is the second time in this East African side, though I have been practicing for a very long time in India. So as I see that the kidney disease is common all over the world. Maybe the incidence and the prevalences are little different, but overall, so to say, from I can say the population stats will be around 10 to 15% of the population has some degree of kidney problem. I don't say that everybody's kidney is failed. Doesn't mean to say that there are 100 people over here, and then say if I say 10%, 10 doesn't mean 10 people are already having kidney failure. See, kidney disease doesn't mean failure. A problem will be there when you try to search. Particularly this is important because, as I said previously, this is the lifestyle diseases that are growing up, like overweight, like undetected blood pressure, high blood pressures, and undetected diabetes, high blood glucose, and the other diseases which are inherited in the families sometimes.
Right.
And then the drugs, as he was selling unnecessary medications. Even leave alone all these things. A simple unnecessary medication is enough to cause a kidney disease.
John, Dr. Murthy had mentioned that genetics also plays a big role in this. Within your family, have you seen kidney failure happen?
Nope.
You're the first.
I am the first. In fact, we were asking ourselves if there was a lineage, a grandfather of a grandfather who had the same disease. But funny enough, no. But sometimes I can fault myself, and I always tell guys, I'm always open about my situation because I'd like to help someone. There are these drugs that people take over the counter that I was shocked to be told that diclofenac being one of them. Diclofenac is one of the biggest kidney destroyers in the world.
And it's a drug you get from the counter?
Yeah.
Over-the-counter medications, particularly painkillers.
Yeah.
Wow. So-called, more specifically, not a simple tablet like a paracetamol or so-called acetaminophen for a fever or a body pain. But there has to be regulation over the drugs that are prescribed over the counter.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important to see that the pharmacists all over the place be regulated and not give drugs which are dangerous to the health of the patient, be it kidney, be it liver, be it heart or anything. See, the simple complaints need to be addressed. The simple thing is, for every simple headache and tummy pain or a belly pain, you don't need to run to a doctor. So that will be very taxing for a simple burning, simple and antacid tablets. These are simple things. So there has to be guidelines and regulations. What should be an OTC, the so-called over-the-counter drug, and a drug which needs a prescription. This discrimination has to be there.
Okay.
Yes.
And John was just one of the many Kenyans who has fallen victim of those drugs. So how did you then get to find out that these over-the-counter drugs were making it worse for you and not helping?
Basically, I didn't know they were the cause but I used to have a lot of toothache back in the day. And even today, I know even our viewers can attest that when you have a toothache, the first thing you go for is a diclofenac. Here in Kenya, we have Maramoja, Panadol Extra. Yeah, those are some of the drugs that I know now that can be harmful to your body.
So after you got your transplant back in October 2016. So financially, how have you been doing?
Well, okay, for the first year, because we'd raised money, for at least the first year, we were able to cope. But now with time, it became too expensive because there are drugs and there are clinics. Because the doctor will tell you, in the first 2 years, I need to see you. In the first year, the first 6 months, I'll need to see you weekly.
So approximately how much do you spend in a month?
In a month, plus the clinics right now, because the good thing about me is that I'm not on pressure drugs, drugs that are for hypertension. So in a month, I spend around 27,000 on drugs in clinic, because you have to go to the clinic. The doctor needs to know if the kidney is still functioning, and sometimes you're made to choose the better evil, and the better evil here is don't miss the drugs, but you can miss the clinic. You can play catch with the clinic, but not with the drugs. Because what there is that it's a foreign part. Yeah? It's like when your sister gives you her kidney. It does not belong to your body. So your body will reject it. You have, the easiest layman's term to explain it is that your body has an army that protects it. When you're catching a cold, then in the morning when you wake up, it's gone. That's the work of the army. That is the white blood cells.
Having been in this situation, John, how has this changed your personal life for the past 2 years?
Well, it has made me appreciate life. It has made me bolder. Yeah, back in the day, I would not come to a live television show, but now I can. Because when you're introduced to something, you think that this is the end of life. Yeah. Most people go through that.
You're thinking,
yeah, I was. But now, even the funniest thing is that I was not cancelled before I was told what I was going through.
Yeah, you were not told.
Yeah.
Like
I was
you
just
need to take medications after the transplant.
Yeah.
The donor was your sister?
No, my brother.
Yeah, your brother, your own, not cousin.
No.
Your first degree.
Yeah.
So, what was the matching you had with him?
It was
You
six,
must have been
six
told
out of
by your
6.
doctor.
It was a 6.
It was a 0 or 6?
6 out of 6.
6 out of 6, full match.
Full match.
So that's a very good match. It's almost having a kidney from a twin.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a kidney, an organ from a twin brother or a twin sibling, what we call.
Yeah.
So what are the medications you are using now? Can you tell me the name? Tacrolimus?
Tacrolimus. And
how much dose you are taking?
6
6 milligrams?
Yeah.
That is 3 milligrams in the morning and 3 milligrams in the evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one should be mycophenolate?
Yes.
That is how much? 360 in the morning?
500.
1 in the morning, 1 in the evening?
No, 1 mg. Like 1 mg in the morning, 1 mg in the evening. 500.
2 tablets in the morning?
Yeah, and 2 in the evening.
2, so total 4 tablets.
Yeah.
So tacrolimus 6 milligrams and mycophenolate. Oh,
Yeah.
that's quite a heavy dose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not his regular physician, but I still feel your creatinine must be okay now?
Yeah, around 120.
120 is okay.
Yeah.
120 is good.
120 is good. But as I see, given a 0 or 6 match, I mean full match, the drugs are little heavy, I don't know. You need to interact with your doctor again and bring down the costs. I, for one, usually keep the drug doses very low. And so I don't know, see, each patient is different. You cannot judge one patient. His body will be different from you.
Yes.
Yours will be different from me. So one has to assess, and given a setting of a kidney from a very close relative, like a sibling, brother, mother, sister, or something, it should be good that we can bring down the drug doses a little more. I don't know, but if you can interact with your clinician, doctor, he should be able to do it.
Dr. Murthy, you say that for him, his kidney match was 100, 6 out of 6. I've heard you
that's what
during
he
your
just told me,
conversation.
yeah.
How often or how difficult is it to get such a perfect match, especially here in Kenya?
No, see, the matching is done, the testing is done, I think, in Kenya, I was not aware, but I have been sending tests to, I've been seeing patients going to South Africa, some labs, and also to some labs in India, because we have been doing more number of cases, that's all. So even nowadays, matching is not an absolute necessity. Like, for example, if it is your first degree relative like mother, father, brother and sister, the advantage of why we promote kidneys from a near relative is that to keep the drug doses low, so that the post-transplant follow-up, the cost will come down. That is the first thing. Second thing is, even if you get a kidney from an unrelated, like your wife, your spouse, whatever it is, spouse, I mean to say spousal transplants, the drug doses can still be slightly higher, maybe because it's an unrelated kidney, the tendency that your body rejects will be slightly higher compared to a related kidney, but still both do well.
Okay.
Both of them do well, slightly on the higher side because of the induction protocols and all these things, but I always prefer a related kidney because always we tend to keep the drug doses low, your post-transplant medication doses are low, and the side effects are low. This is important. Right. So that, I think, has to be individualized. It's difficult to say as a blanket statement that this is the dose for related, this is the dose for unrelated. No, you can't do that.
All right, so Dr. Murthy, what about the person who has donated the kidney?
Yeah, see, that's a good one. See, one need not be afraid at all. See, one thing, even if you have donated, just imagine you have 2 kidneys. Just presume you have 100% function. So you have donated 1 kidney, it doesn't mean you have lost 50%. Yeah, it looks like for a beginning 50%. Yes, isn't it?
Yes.
You're given away half of
You've
it.
given part of your body.
Yeah, half of it. Half of it.
Yes.
But the good thing God has given is this becomes a little bigger over time. It compensates. Say, it comes to around 70 to 80% over a period of a few months to years.
Wow.
Now, this compensation is the crux that will protect the donor for the rest of his life. I don't say that it will be normal again, because anyway 50% is gone. But you have not lost 50%. It is only 30%.
But the donor also now has to be careful with his lifestyle.
Yeah, he has to be a little careful. That much, see, he has to be under follow-up at least yearly or once. Whenever he comes to see his physician, just check his blood pressure and then check his creatinine or urine once in a while, maybe in a year. So that is enough. The care is enough. That much vigilance is enough. So it doesn't mean that one give one kidney, the other is going to fail. No, it's not like that. It tends to adapt. And there are people who are born with one kidney but still live a normal life.
You can be born with one kidney?
Yes, there can be.
Or three?
No, so you see, the organs, they tend to adapt to, like we, in difficult situations, instead of working 8 or 9 hours, you work 12 hours. You don't die, isn't it? Yeah, it will be a little stressful for you. You take precaution and then you try to compensate for the increased demand that you are facing, isn't it? Same thing happens with
Dr. Murthy, is it right to say that there are preventions when it comes
I'd
to...
say unnecessary medication should be avoided.
Yes.
Frequent vigilance and checkups should be there. Whenever you visit your, have a problem, you should always tell your treating doctor that you have a donated kidney and you are a man with a single kidney. And then there won't be unnecessary prescriptions like he was talking of about diclofenac or any painkiller, so to say, not any name of any drug. So unnecessary painkillers, maybe prevent dehydration. He should keep himself nicely hydrated and then keep his medical record proper. So that I think is enough so that he can live a normal life. And the person whom he has donated, mostly his brother, sister, mother or whosoever it is, will also live a normal life.
Oh, with Dr. Murthy and John when we come back from this short commercial break. Keep it KTN News. We'll be right back. Oh, wow. So it is your brother